On New Year's Eve, I discovered my boyfriend's secret account. Among over 1,000 posts, there were luxury watches, sports cars, island villas, snowy mountains, and auroras. Everything he loved was there, except for me. I dialed the familiar number by heart. Sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service. The midnight bell echoed as fireworks lit up the sky. Watching the champagne shower in his latest post from 5 minutes ago, I sniffled, "Goodbye, Dean, I don't owe you anymore." After hanging up the phone, 2 heart-shaped balloons slipped from my incomplete fingers. Someone shouted, "Your balloons, I don't want it anymore, I don't want any of it anymore." After returning home, I recorded today's balloon sales earnings in the ledger. 132 yuan and 50 cents, still far from the price of a 2-carat diamond ring. I splashed cold water on my face to force myself to calm down, but the images from earlier kept flooding my mind. I remembered that sudden shower of champagne from above. Some people don't need to jostle through crowds to celebrate the new year. They can uncork bottles of champagne worth 20,000 each at the best viewing spots. Gazing down at those looking up from below, Dean was the one looking down, while I was the one looking up. I let out a self-deprecating laugh, yet my fingers couldn't help but click on his alternate account. Like a rat peeking out from a saw, I sneak a glimpse into his life. Under the latest video is a conversation between Dean and his friend. "When are you planning to come back? Ching is about to return to the country. Aren't you afraid she'll make a scene? Just one more week of fun. I'll definitely settle it before she goes back to her country. That girl is saving up to buy me a birthday present. Help me think of how to act surprised. I don't want to disappoint her." "I won't, but make sure to livestream it later. Let the guys see if your little white flower is moved to tears. As long as it makes the guys happy, I'll reward her." My vision is a bit blurry, tears falling on the screen and turning into watery stains. Is this the truth about love? Closing the app, I opened my diary. In the to-do list, there are a few lines in bold. Spay-neuter 500 cats, 54,500. Buy a 2-carat diamond ring, 01. Have a love that isn't built on lies. My gaze lingers on the last line, where I drew half a heart, silently. I cross out that half heart. Now everything starts all over again. Sister Illy, once I'm done, I'll come find you. I remember the night I first met Dean. Our meeting was an accident. To be precise, I thought it was me who saved him, when my part-time job ended, as if guided by some unseen force. I chose the path by the river and unexpectedly discovered Dean struggling in the water. He was heavy, and I choked on several mouthfuls of water before managing to pull him out of the river. Once ashore, Dean collapsed on the riverbank. "Thank you, heroine, for saving my life." The streetlights made his eyes gleam brightly. I picked up my things and walked away without looking back, ignoring his shouts behind me. Later, he often showed up at my workplace to bring me meals. Sometimes it's jianbing guozi, sometimes it's grilled cold noodles, and sometimes he even puts a rose in the milk tea bag. I tacitly allowed his behavior. Later, he confessed his feelings to me amidst the falling snow. "Illy, my fair lady, this humble scholar comes from a poor family, with no means to repay your life-saving grace. May I offer myself in marriage?" I nodded as I looked at his hands, red from the cold, and his frost-covered eyelashes. In the end, he moved into the rental apartment with me. I took his words. My family is poor, to heart. I took on 3 part-time jobs, stretching every penny as far as it could go. I bought discounted vegetables from the supermarket, and he said, "Illy, don't degrade yourself like this, it hurts me." In truth, the poor don't see discounted food as degrading. What truly degrades a person is toying with a sincere heart. Perhaps he and his buddies would watch as I was easily won over by a 6-yuan pancake. They would laugh at my wish to buy a 2-carat diamond ring they look down on. They would criticize me from head to toe, saying how worthless and lowly I am. The next morning, my phone vibrated with a message from Dean. "Illy, I found a really delicious restaurant, let's go out and celebrate." Also included was the location of the restaurant. A burning pain in my stomach reminded me that I hadn't eaten in a long time. I had to eat something. Looking at the menu Dean sent, my throat shamefully moved up and down, and my sleep-deprived mind felt groggy. I told myself, this is what he owes you. When we arrived at the restaurant, I realized Dean, you had already ordered the dishes. He proudly introduced each dish to me as if presenting treasures. Illy, these are all your favorites, right? I used to find it pleasantly surprising, but now I feel that knowing each other too well isn't necessarily a good thing. Like how I know he closes his eyes waiting for my praise. In the past, I would say, not bad. Dean, you've improved again, and then solemnly plant a kiss on his cheek. I said, are you done? Can I eat now? Dean was taken aback for a moment, then nodded. Under his astonished gaze, I moved all the dishes in front of me. A rapid swallowing sound came from my throat, and tears streamed down my cheeks. Dean panicked slightly. Illy, slow down, don't do this. He had never seen me have an episode. In recent years, my condition has stabilized, and I rarely resort to binge eating to relieve stress. I've always remembered Sister Illy's words. She said, even when I'm not around, you must keep yourself well fed. Look, Sister Illy, I've been taking good care of myself. It wasn't until the familiar ache of fullness spread through my stomach that I finally slowed down. Click. The sound of the shutter seemed like some kind of signal, and in the next moment, countless phones were shoved in my face. Eye-opening, truly eye-opening. Thanks, young master you. I shared it with my girlfriend, and she said, where did this wild boar spirit come from? Ha 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 ha. They contentedly put away their phones, laughing as they admired the exciting moments they had captured. Dean, you're the creative one. If it weren't for you, I'd never have thought people could have fun like this. Dean's expression changed, and the dissatisfaction in his eyes turned into pleasant surprise upon seeing the woman before him. Ching Ching. Why didn't you say anything when you came back? Shun Ching pulled out a chair and sat down beside me. They said there was some fun to be had here. How could I miss it? She pulled a few bills from her wallet and tossed them lightly onto my face. Here, take it. To think something like this could make you eat like that, you're really desperate. Or maybe you've never had a proper meal since childhood, acting like a starving ghost. As soon as she finished speaking, the people around her burst into laughter, and Dean said nothing. Although I was mentally prepared, seeing Dean react like this still made my heart ache, so it only took this moment for him to snap out of character. Actually, Shun Ching was right. For the first 13 years of my life, I truly never had a full meal. They will never know what it feels like to be starved for 3 days. Not to mention meat or oil, even the rice bran in the pig trough was a rare delicacy. Later, when the opportunity arose, I ate voraciously. Only by filling the stomach to the point of pain can one soothe the emptiness etched into the soul. With a full stomach, the mind can finally function properly. I decided to take the initiative and clarify things, to avoid making too much of a fool of myself. Dean, isn't it time to end the game? The laughter came to an abrupt halt. Dean's lips parted several times, but no words came out. I shook off the hand he had reached out to me. There's no need to explain, young master you. Thank you for treating me to dinner, and for last night's champagne shower. 20,000 yuan is enough for me to eat Jianbing Guozi for a whole year. Thank you for letting a poor wretch like me catch a whiff of the intoxicating scent of luxury. As I spoke these words, my voice trembled slightly. I couldn't help but recall Dean's hands, blistered from scalding while making brown sugar water for me, and the sweet nothings he whispered against my neck. Illy, I'm so lucky. I love you so much. I thought I had obtained a sincere love, free from any deceit, which is why I solemnly drew half a peach heart on my wish list. Now it seems, I was laughably naive. Dean froze for a moment, instantly understanding, and a crack appeared in his composed facade. Illy, I'm the one who wronged you. Give me a chance to make it up to you, okay? They probably think someone like me can be settled with money. I sneered. Fine, 300,000, or a 2-carat diamond ring, as compensation for emotional distress. Are you paying by check or bank transfer? Or do you rich people always carry hundreds of thousands in cash? Perhaps he didn't expect me to ask so shamelessly, as his face immediately darkened. In his imagination, I should have been crying and saying, don't insult my dignity with money. Illy, I didn't expect you to be so money-minded. I scoffed aloud. They use their wealth to manipulate others, reveling in the privileges money brings. Yet here they are accusing ordinary people of being materialistic. How laughable. If young master you can't bear to part with it, then let's go our separate ways here. As a piece of advice, I think you should stop making games like this. It's too malicious, you'll face retribution. As I was leaving, I deliberately bumped into Shenqing, making her stumble, ignoring the shouts from behind. I returned to the rented apartment. I still have part-time jobs to do. Nothing is more important to me than making money. Only by earning money can I buy a diamond ring and get my cat neutered. Only then can I go to find her. Back home, I took out the photo I had treasured for so long. My thoughts also returned to that summer. My original name was Ru Li, and like my name suggests, my life was as cheap as grass. P.S. Because the name has been changed. I'm afraid you might not understand, the female lead's Chinese name is Jian Cao, where in Chinese, Jian and cheap are homophones. In the height of summer when I was 13, on the 7th day after my stepfather chopped off my finger, I set my sights on Ili Feng, who had returned to the village to visit family. People have no sense of shame when they're starving. I followed her from the doorstep to the village entrance, just waiting for an opportunity. 15-year-old Ili Feng turned back with a bright smile. Hey, your stomach's been growling the whole way. Let me treat you to a grilled sausage. I devoured the sausage in a few bites. She watched me lick the grease off the skewer, then handed me her own sausage. My name is Ili Feng, the Zhao in Ili's universe. What's your name? I lowered my head and whispered like a mosquito, Ru Li. I could almost imagine her expression upon hearing my name, mockery, pity. Just like everyone else who's ever heard my name, New Year has yet to bring forth blossoms, but in early February, grass sprouts appear. Is your birthday in February? As if guided by some supernatural force, I nodded. In truth, my birthday is in October, the October of withered grass stretching to the horizon. On that day, my life took a turn. I had my first grilled sausage in my life and took my first photo. For the first time, I realized I could be a person. When summer vacation ended, Ili Feng pleaded with her parents to call various authorities and rescued me from my stepfather's hands. She said, "You must take good care of yourself and eat until you're full." Every year, I receive letters from Ili Feng, along with the pocket money she has saved up over the year. As the ice melts, springs begin to flow. When the snow vanishes, grass sprouts emerge. Ru, I'll be waiting for you at university. Later, with Ili Feng's financial support, I was able to attend university. While Ili Feng herself became bedridden due to illness, oh my, Ru has grown so beautiful. Don't cry, please don't cry. Let me take a look at this little chubby body of mine. Not bad at all. I haven't been treating myself poorly. I spent the last 6 months of Ili Feng's life by her side. Before she left behind 3 wishes. My beloved Meili was bullied by that shameless ginger cat, so I must neuter 500 tomcats to vent my anger. I've never been in love in my life. So you'll have to live out a faithful and unwavering romance for me. Finally, you'll have to buy me a 2-carat diamond ring. She blinked at me with hopeful eyes. Little Ru, you can do this for me, right? You definitely can, right. Tears streaming down my face. I nodded. Of course I knew the purpose behind her 3 wishes. Once she left, there was nothing left in this world to hold me back. The night I met Dinu, I had originally decided to break the agreement. I just never expected anyone to be in that desolate riverbed. The rapid knocking at the door interrupted my memories. Dinu, I've already made myself very clear earlier. You didn't come back to collect your things, did you? Those items shouldn't be worth the attention of someone as distinguished as the young master. Dinu's expression remained grim as he forcefully held the door in place. Ili, I need to talk to you. Shenqing suddenly emerged from behind him. Dean. Why are you wasting words with a thief? The word thief stung my nerves sharply. What do you mean by that? Dinu stopped Shenqing, who wanted to speak. Qingqing said she lost her ring, and you were the only person she interacted with this morning. She thinks it might have gotten caught on your clothes and been brought back by accident. Looking at Dinu, who couldn't meet my eyes, I only felt absurdity. Dinu, I thought you knew I would never steal anything. Huh, you couldn't possibly steal. Then how come I heard your finger was cut off for stealing? My finger twitched. An intense pain flared up from the severed joint. I never expected Dinu to have even told Shenqing about this. No, Perhaps it wasn't just Ching, all those young masters and misses in their circle probably knew about it. Everyone knows someone who had their finger chopped off for stealing pig feed. I close my eyes, and before me is a sky awash with blood. The wound that longed to be licked has now become a sharp blade stabbing at me, piercing my heart with pain. I can only press tightly against the photo on my chest, trying to grasp some warmth. Ching turned my house upside down, but of course, she didn't find the so-called diamond ring. Her gaze finally landed on my tightly clutched chest. Is the ring on you? By any chance? No sooner had she spoken than she reached out to tug at my clothes. I pushed her away with all my strength. Chingshan, don't force me to take action. Chingshan's eyes instantly reddened, and she cried out with a sob, Dean, this ring is a keepsake left by my mother. If I can't find it, I don't want to live anymore. Dean Yu suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace, his arms firmly locking around my body. Illy, just let her take a look. Only by seeing it can your suspicion be cleared. Once this matter is settled, forget 2 carats, I'll buy you a diamond ring of however many carats you want. Dean Yu, how dare you? Ching pulled the photo out from under my predatory gaze. Illy Feng and Ru Li. Ching's gaze shifted between the photo and my face, and after a moment, she let out a delighted exclamation as if she had discovered something. Dean Yu, this little white flower of yours is actually called Ru Li. Ru Li. Ha ha ha, she's been impersonating someone to deceive you all along. Dean Yu froze and released me. I rushed desperately towards Ching, snatching the photo back from her hands. In the chaos, the cabinet door scraped a gash on my calf, ignoring the blood streaming down my leg. I quickly tucked the photo into my chest pocket. Illy, don't you think you owe me an explanation? Dean Yu's gaze at me was filled with complexity. My hands tightly clutched the photos I had lost and regained. As I gasped for breath, explain what? You're allowed to play with me like a dog, but I'm not allowed to deceive you. Is that it? I am Ru Li. Satisfied now, get out of my house immediately. I bear the name Illy Feng, if only to leave a little more of her trace in this world. Ching got up from the ground and snorted coldly. You think you can just brush me off after stealing my things? In Ching's palm, a diamond ring sparkled brightly. I heard your wish was to buy a 2-carat diamond ring. Now that we've caught you red-handed, are you still not going to admit it? Dean Yu's gaze turned icy cold in an instant. He said, apologize. I pressed my lips tightly together, not uttering a word. Ching, however, smiled. You don't have to apologize. But you'll have to make up for it with this photo. Brother Dean Yu, help me hold her down. Under my disbelieving gaze, Dean Yu pinned me to the ground. Ching looked down at me with a malicious smile. You see, even Dean Yu doesn't believe you. Such a precious photo, how about I tear it up? I struggled desperately, my nails scraping against the ground until they were completely torn off. Give me back the photos. Dean, please ask her to return the photos to me. Okay, I'll play along with your act. You can mess with me however you want. Just give me back the photos, please, I pleaded desperately. Almost on the verge of a breakdown, only to be met with Dean Yu's cold gaze. No. Under my disbelieving gaze, Ching tore the photograph in half, then she crumpled it forcefully until the photo became a pile of shredded paper drifting with colored powder. I felt something snap in my mind. Ching, I'll kill you. I'm going to kill you. I rammed my head fiercely into Dean Yu, picked up the axe from the ground, and swung it violently at Ching. The first strike hit the table beside her, the second strike split her skirt open with the axe. The third time, I aimed for her hand. The axe had barely swung halfway when Dean Yu grabbed it. Li Jiao, have you lost your mind? I stared at Dean Yu, my eyes frighteningly red. Yes, I have lost my mind. I quickly switched hands and hurled the axe toward Ching. Amid her screams, the axe sliced through her arm, and blood instantly gushed out. Dean Yu's face turned pale in an instant as he hurriedly turned to check Ching's injury. Dean, she was really trying to kill me. Quick, call the police, arrest her. Dean Yu embraced Ching, then turned to meet my gaze filled with overwhelming hatred. His arms tightened around her as he uttered a chilling, bone-piercing sentence. Ru Li, you are utterly disappointing. The response to him was the chair I threw. Get the hell out. I collapsed onto the floor. staring blankly at the scattered fragments of photographs. After a long while, I began picking up the pieces, find the glue and white paper, and piece the photo back together bit by bit. But this photo is too old. Under vigorous rubbing, the paint flakes off piece by piece, and the portrait is already damaged. Being deceived, mocked, and framed, I gritted my teeth and endured it all. But when I saw the gentle eyes of Sister Illy become blurred and indistinct, the last line of defense in my heart collapsed completely, head buried in knees, tears gushing like a broken dam. Why did you leave me alone in this world? Why must I fulfill 3 wishes before I can see you? Why do you let them treat me like this? Illy, I really miss you so much. Holding the photo, I lay on the floor all night. By the time I woke up the next day, it was already noon. After hastily eating a bite of bread, I started cleaning the room. Paired slippers, toothbrushes, bowls, and chopsticks were all thrown into the trash bag. Finally, my gaze lingered on the black velvet box in the drawer. Inside was a handcrafted silver clay pendant. On its uneven surface, the letters ZC were finely engraved. It's the birthday gift I prepared for Dinu. I knocked on the neighbor's door. I remember your dog is named President, right? This tag is perfect for its collar. The neighbor sister looked at my reddened eyes and hesitated to speak. Then I'll thank you on behalf of President. Before closing the door, she handed me a bag with concern. Little sister, there's nothing that can't be overcome. Try to get out more. Here's a cake I baked. I'm not very skilled, so don't mind its flaws. I took a bite of the cake. Indeed, the skill was lacking. It was bitter. So bitter it made my tongue feel numb. After saying goodbye to the landlord, I boarded the train to Nanjing. I know there's a stray cat sanctuary online that sometimes helps hundreds of cats get sterilized in a single day. I've already wasted a year of my life. I can't wait any longer. If Sister Illy found out, she'd probably knock me on the head and say I'm taking shortcuts. But as long as I can fulfill my wish quickly, any method will do. Truthfully, I don't particularly like animals like cats and dogs. To me, they feel more like competitors, but Illy Feng really liked it. She would always pull me over to show me photos of her tabby cat, grooming, sleeping, kneading, even pooping. She told me that cats with tufted ears are clever and stubborn. Black and white cats are called more cow, less milk, and a cat's mouth is called a poop snout, though I didn't quite understand. Seeing her eyes light up as she talked made me happy. After checking in with the park director, I was assigned to scoop poop in the park. God knows how such tiny cats can produce so much. It even reminded me of the joke Illy Feng once told me. She said, some people are called poop scoopers, others are called manure carriers. Now, I've become a manure carrier too. Here, I also met many people who came to volunteer. Unlike me, they genuinely loved cats. Xiao Jiao, come and pet one too. Cats are simply the most adorable creatures in the world. I don't believe anyone can resist a fluffy, warm little kitten. A burly guy stuffed a few-month-old tabby cat into my arms. The tiny body kept burrowing into my clothes, its furry little head nudging against my chin, so soft. Before long, the little one started purring inside my collar. Hey, this little thing really likes you. It's preparing a mouse for you. It's warning nearby mice that there's a cat here, so they won't come steal your food. Lowering my head, I looked at the little furball on my collar and suddenly understood why Illy Feng had asked me to fulfill such a wish. My life as a volunteer at the stray cat sanctuary was simple but filled with happiness. The fellow volunteers around me came and went in waves, but I was the only one who stayed here all along. The director asked me several times if I wanted to take a break or go somewhere else for a change of scenery. When she asked me, the over 60-year-old shelter director looked worried, but seeing my determination, she didn't say anything more. Everyone has stories they don't want others to know. One day in March, the shelter director suddenly received a phone call. It was about a cat transport truck that had broken down at a highway exit. Just as volunteers happened to discover it, seeing the other volunteers acting as if facing a formidable enemy, I was somewhat at a loss. After asking around, I found out that the cats in the car were actually meant to be eaten. Thinking of those furry little creatures in the garden, my heart tightened. Director, I'll go with you. When we arrived by car, the atmosphere was very tense. The driver was emotionally agitated and insisted on driving away no matter how we tried to calm him down. For a moment, the situation reached a deadlock. "Brother driver, we don't mean to make things difficult for you, we just can't bear to see these cats being killed for meat. Could you wait a little longer while we figure out a proper solution?" Hearing the director's words, the driver calmed down slightly. Just as he was about to speak, a voice emerged from the crowd of volunteers. "Aren't you afraid of karma for running such a business?" The driver immediately became agitated and got into a verbal altercation with the volunteer who spoke. Amid the shoving, the zoo director was jostled and nearly fell, about to hit the railing. I rushed forward and used my own body to support them. His legs slammed heavily against the guardrail, and the barely healed wound immediately began to bleed. The crowd grew even more agitated. Just as the situation seemed on the verge of spiraling out of control, I heard the blare of a car horn. "Hey, what are you doing? I'm calling the police." I looked up and saw someone unexpected. Illy. The cat car was eventually bought outright by Dinu. I was also taken to the hospital by other friends. The doctor frowned at the wound on my leg. "Why didn't you come to the hospital earlier with this injury? Was it caused by a sharp metal object last time?" I nodded. "It's the metal handle on the cabinet." The doctor's expression darkened even more. "You're lucky you didn't get tetanus. How can someone so young be so careless with their health?" Several more hours passed before the wound was cleaned and stitched up, and Dinu had been waiting by my bedside the whole time. He looked at me, his eyes filled with a mix of anxiety and grievance. Why did you leave without saying a word? Do you know how hard I've been looking for you?" I raised my eyes to look at him. "Haven't you had enough fun? I'm exhausted and in no mood to play along with your act. Please leave, young master you." The knock on the door diffused the tension between the two of us. "Xiao Jiao, how are you feeling now? Thank you so much for today. If this old body of mine had hit the ground, it would have been disastrous. I made you some chicken soup. Drink it while it's still hot." The kindergarten director then turned her gaze to Dinu. "And how should I address you, sir? We owe you our thanks as well today." Dinu smiled at the kindergarten director. "You can just call me Dean. I'm Illy's boyfriend." I looked up from the chicken soup and couldn't help but correct him. "Ex-boyfriend." Dinu's expression instantly changed. "We didn't break up, Illy. I know I was wrong about the photo incident. Please give me a chance to figure something out." "Okay, photos. How dare he even mention photos?" Rage surged through me in an instant. Without a second thought, I flung that bowl of chicken soup right onto his face. "Shut up, Dinu. If you're really sorry, then stop bothering me. Don't call me Illy. It's an insult coming from your mouth. You can loudly call me Ru Li." Dinu's face turned livid with anger. He gritted his teeth and turned away without a word. Watching his humiliated state, I felt nothing but immense satisfaction in my heart. He deserved it. Under the care of the director and my companions, my leg healed quickly. In just a few days, the stitches could be removed, leaving only a crooked scar on my leg. The director looked at my leg with some heartache. "How did such a big scar form? Let me ask the doctor again if we can do some cosmetic treatment to remove it for you." I reached out and stopped the director. After retiring, the director spent all his savings on those furry little ones. Where would he get the money to pay for my cosmetic surgery? Besides, this scar serves as a memorable lesson for me. This truckload of cats, nearly 1,000 in total, ranging in size, were all in poor health after the long journey. Some little ones didn't make it through. A young woman in her 20s traveled a long distance after seeing the shelter's post about finding owners. Yet what awaited her was the stiffened tiny body of her own fur baby. Hearing her sobs, the shelter staff couldn't help but tear up. Later, the shelter invited a veterinarian who successfully performed sterilization surgeries on the cats. At this point, I have officially fulfilled my first wish. It's time to visit Illy Feng. Carrying a thick stack of 500 photos, I went to the cemetery. Illy Feng's grave was very clean, as if someone cleaned it every day. That's right. No one could dislike Illy Feng. As the sky darkened, I went to the cemetery management office. "Hello, I'd like to ask if plot A52 has been sold yet." A52 is right next to Illy Feng's grave. It's been sold long ago, not just No. 52, but all the surrounding graves from No. 51 onwards have been sold. I was stunned and quickly asked for the buyer's contact information. The administrator looked me up and down for quite a while before pulling out a piece of paper from the drawer and handing it to me. The buyer left this when they made the purchase. She said there would surely be a girl coming to ask about it someday, and when that time comes, I should give this to her. The apricot-colored stationery bore Illy Fong's elegant handwriting. "You little rascal, trying to slack off again, I don't want to see you this soon." The signature was a remarkably lifelike tabby cat licking its belly. Tears dripped onto the paper, blooming into watery blossoms that revealed the words beneath. With trembling hands, I turned the letter over. "All right, I know you must have been wronged. Wait for me to sort everything out down there. Earn a few small goals in underworld currency. Then you can come find me. Now, you can have a good cry. Once you're done, stand up, you're Li Ru, who fears nothing in heaven or on earth." After much deliberation, I finally decided to continue volunteering at the sanctuary. The sanctuary director gave me a big hug. "Xiao Jiao, welcome back." I hugged her back. "Please call me Ru from now on." The director paused for a moment, then patted my back. "All right, Ru." This time upon returning, I officially adopted the little tabby that looked so much like the cat. I tapped its nose. "From now on, you'll be called Coalball, Lee Coalball." In response, Coalball nuzzled against me. "It's cool." Damp nose leaving my cheek wet, a hand reached out from beside me. "Here, wipe it off." Looking up, I saw Dinu, who looked quite haggard. I sighed and took the tissue he handed me. "Haven't you had enough fun yet?" Dinu suddenly crouched down. "Li Ru, you've won." He gritted his teeth. "Are you satisfied seeing me like this? Do you know how hard I've searched for you? Do you know no one has ever dared to throw chicken soup at me? Only you. I spent a year squeezed in that rented apartment with you, worrying every day if your job was dangerous, afraid those things might ruin your health. You're the only one who makes me feel this anxious. I searched for you for a whole month. They all said I'd gone mad. What more do you want from me?" I laughed. "Dinu." He looked up at me with bloodshot eyes. I coldly spat out a single word: "Get out." But Dinu ultimately didn't leave. He donated 100,000 yuan to the kindergarten. The principal also asked for my opinion. If I wasn't willing, she could have kicked him out, but I didn't let her refuse. Why turn down money that comes knocking? Someone like Dinu does everything on a whim. When the mood strikes, he can jump into a stinky ditch pretending to drown, play the role of a poor boy for a year to date someone, and naturally, he can also impulsively rekindle an old flame on a whim. I told the kindergarten director, "He's a rich young master here to experience life. You don't need to pay him any mind." The next day, Dinu started hovering around me. No matter how many times I avoided him, he always found a way to follow me again. He suddenly blocked me at the door at noon. "Ru, could you make me a bowl of porridge?" Making porridge is like our tender moment together. I stirred the porridge while he hugged me from behind, nuzzling his head against my neck. I get annoyed with him and pinch the ticklish spot on his waist. The two of us act like children. Fooling around in the rented apartment, I say, "Okay, $10,000 a bowl, if you're willing to pay, I'll cook for you." Dinu readily transferred 10,000 yuan to me. Closing the kitchen door, I cooked a pot of porridge. Looking at the somewhat plain white porridge, I felt something was missing. So I turned around and fetched a can of premium cat food from the storage room. I poured the canned food into the pot and stirred it well. The final dish served to Dinu was a bowl of shredded chicken kanji. "Eat up, young master, you. Don't waste it." Dinu frowned at the reddish kanji in the bowl, looking suspicious. "Why does it look so strange?" I sat down beside him, took a sip of the kanji, and said, "Go ahead, it's not poisoned." Dinu hesitated for a moment but ultimately drank the bowl of porridge that cost $10,000. After the meal, he opened a can to feed the cat. And his fingers paused as he noticed a somewhat familiar color. "What did you use to make that porridge? Why does it look like cat food?" I raised an eyebrow. "Because it is cat food." Dinu rushed to the bathroom with a pale face in a hurry. Dinu had diarrhea. I laughed at him for being a spoiled young master who couldn't handle the slightest grievance. "This cat food is much cleaner than the takeout I eat." Dinu stayed in the garden for a week, transferring me 10,000 000 yuan every day for meal expenses. I certainly wouldn't find money too hot to handle, steadfast as a bowl of plain kanji. In just one more week, I'll be able to buy a diamond ring. Lying amidst a pile of cats, feeling their warmth on me, I comfortably closed my eyes in bliss. Rue, wake up. Do you want to go check the entrance? Dean is arguing with someone. When I rushed to the door, I saw Dean tearing at something, and a crowd of onlookers had already gathered outside, seeing me arrive. Dean immediately rushed over and covered my eyes. Rue, don't look. Go back inside quickly, a sharp female voice rang out. Well, Rue Lee, you finally decided to show your face. Everyone, look, she's the one who stole my diamond ring and slashed me with a knife. She's a fugitive. Seeing Shenqing, the sword hanging over my head finally fell. With a temper like hers, there was no way she'd take a loss lying down. It was only a matter of time before she came looking for me again. Listening to Shenqing's words, whispers spread through the surrounding crowd, no doubt criticizing me. Under these strange gazes, I felt an oddly familiar sensation, one I hadn't experienced in a long time. That summer when I was 13, after the villagers discovered my stepfather had chopped off my finger, he dragged me to the village square just like this. He claimed he had fed and clothed me well, yet I stole from the family. And that he was disciplining me to make me a better person. The villagers believed it, or perhaps there was no need to pursue the matter further. After all, I was just a motherless child. After that, I became the epitome of a bad kid in the village, and no one allowed their children to play with me, only Ili Feng. Only Ili Feng believed in me. Only she would solemnly tell everyone in the village that Li Ru's fingers were cut off because she ate pig feed. And it was because her stepfather wouldn't feed her that she resorted to eating it. When the village aunties invited me to eat, I burst into tears. Ili Feng patted my back and said, "See, there are still good people in the world." More and more people gathered. Even the zoo director rushed back from outside. Seeing the banner with my name on it, he froze for a moment before his face immediately darkened. The other staff quickly took action as well, tearing down the hung banner in just a few moments. "Miss, if you have any issues, you can resolve them through the police. Right now, you're disrupting the normal operations of our zoo. Please leave as soon as possible." Shenqing hadn't expected the director to react this way. "You're covering for her after she stole my things. Aren't you afraid I'll sue you all in court? Go ahead. Sue us right now. Do you think we're scared of you? We know exactly what kind of person Rue is. There's no need for you to stir up trouble here." The muscular guy wanted to step forward but was stopped by the kindergarten director. "Young lady, people must take responsibility for their words. If you truly have evidence, you can certainly report it to the police or file a lawsuit. We will cooperate with the investigation." The principal's tone suddenly shifted. "According to you, that was a ring worth hundreds of thousands, and you yourself suffered severe injuries. Why didn't you report it to the police?" Shenqing faltered, forcing herself to remain composed. "Naturally, it's because I'm kind-hearted and wanted to give her another chance. As long as she apologizes to me, I won't pursue the matter." The principal smiled, and her next words carried much more firmness. "Does your behavior look like that of a kind-hearted person? Are you trying to drive someone to their death? I'll say it again, if you have evidence, call the police. If not, get out of here. Our park doesn't welcome you." Whispers rose from the crowd again, with some urging Shenqing to present evidence. Naturally, Shenqing couldn't produce any. She turned her gaze to Dean. "Dean, say something. Are you just going to stand by and watch them bully me like this? We went to her house together that day. You saw her swing an axe at me. Hurry up and speak." Everyone turned their gaze to Dean again. Dean frowned and pulled Shenqing's hand down. "Shenqing, you know very well what happened with the ring. As for you getting slashed, you deserved it. You destroyed a keepsake of her deceased relative. That was your just desserts." The matter ended with Shenqing fainting. Shenqing arrived with great fanfare and left in disgrace. "Aren't you going to check on her?" Dean shook his head. "No need. She's been spoiled since childhood. Don't take her actions to heart. I'll find a way to compensate for the garden's losses. Also, I never once suspected you of taking his ring. I'm sorry, Rue. The afternoon sun was a bit too warm, and the sweat clinging to my skin felt uncomfortable." "Dean," I called out, He seemed to sense something. His eyes filled with a hint of pleading. Room 6 hasn't cleaned up the poop yet today. I'll go check. With that, he turned and left. We broke up. Dinu's footsteps slowed. Do you have to be like this? I nodded. Dinu, we're from different worlds. You should go back, in the end. Dinu did go back. Before he left, I transferred back part of the money I'd earned from him, but he didn't accept it. With that money, I eventually bought a small but very shiny ring. Returning to the cemetery, the caretaker recognized me again. She handed me a bouquet of flowers. Take it. She would probably like it. It was a bunch of bright yellow sunflowers. I placed the flowers on Ili Feng's tombstone and opened the velvet ring box. When making the tombstone, Ili Feng specifically asked the craftsman to include a hidden compartment. Ru, you'll put the ring here when the time comes. Once I'm down there, I'll wear it on my hand and dance at ghost parties. Nothing could be cooler. My reputation down there is all in your hands. Ili, this ring is flashy enough, but it might be a bit small. Don't blame me for tricking the dead when you get it. Who told you to be so greedy and insist on something shiny? I placed the ring into the hidden compartment, but found I couldn't close the lid no matter how hard I tried. Frantically, I crouched on the floor and tried to pry it open with my fingers, only to unexpectedly dig out a memory card. With trembling hands, I inserted the card into my phone. Inside was a video left for me by Ili Feng. I always knew our Ru was someone capable of great things. If you're seeing this video, it means you've managed to buy the ring, though I'm sure you've suffered quite a bit for it. You've worked hard. Our Ru, Ili Feng smiled gently. I know you must have so many things you want to say to me, and you must miss me terribly. After all, I am such a charming woman. But don't come looking for me too soon. By the time you see this video, I should already be dancing with ghosts down below. My life has actually been quite short, and full of regrets. On camera, Ili Feng sniffles. But I think the luckiest thing was meeting you, you know. That day I was actually planning to run away from home. My illness is genetic, and neither of them wanted to take me after the divorce. Then I met you. It was the first time I knew someone's stomach could growl so loudly. After that, every time I felt like giving up, I would think, if I leave, what would happen to Li Ru? Fortunately, I held on until adulthood, and I watched you graduate from university. It's a shame I couldn't see you find happiness in love, but I'm very happy. I'm so happy you gave meaning to my life. In my 20-something years, I helped girls around my age, even down there. I can brag a little. A familiar smile spread across Ili Feng's face. Alright, I'm getting off track. Take that ring with you, consider it a safety net. I'm leaving for you. The video later will have the jeweler's contact information. If you ever find yourself in need, you can sell the ring. I no longer knew how I had turned off the video. When I came to my senses, Dinu's concerned face was before me. Ru, are you okay? Instinctively, I shook off his hand and pushed myself up from the gravestone. Dinu, please let me go. After that day, Dinu seemed to have disappeared. I officially joined the Stray Cat Manor and became someone with a group of cats. The director intends to hand over the entire manor to me. She is getting older, and her children are worried about leaving her alone, wanting to take her to live in a big city. After careful consideration, I decided to take over the estate. I finally understood why Ili Feng insisted that I neuter 500 cats. Such a large number of neutering procedures cannot be completed by one person alone. People always get tripped up in their interactions with others. Once someone develops attachments, they find it hard to let go. Later, I became the director of a stray cat sanctuary. With fellow volunteers, I roam around catching cats, and occasionally livestream myself scooping litter online. No longer the Ru that anyone could trample underfoot. Now, I am the protector of cats. Netizens say I'm the highest-ranking manure shoveling worker. The coal ball gradually transformed into a lean and powerful semi-trailer truck, its four paws leaving bright red plum blossom prints wherever they stepped. With the help of my volunteer friends, I officially set up my own live streaming room. On New Year's Eve, I launched the Manor's first official live broadcast. The moment the stream started, the screen was flooded with the dazzling effects of several carnival gifts. The live stream room was pushed to the top of the rankings. Wow! Even during the new year, the bosses are showing off their strength like this. The streamer isn't going home for the new year either, streamer. Stop spacing out and hurry up to thank the boss. Looking at the blank nickname and avatar, I said, "Thank you, boss. Wishing you good health and prosperity." After a long pause, a single comment floated across the screen. "Happy New Year." Fireworks exploded above me, their crimson glow reflecting in my pupils. Coal Ball nuzzled my chin and meowed. "Meow Tilda," I said. "Happy New Year."